Hi guys, it's Angie with Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. Today I'm going to make a Zig Zag shirt that I'm going to snow dye. The shirt was washed and dried, soaked in a soda ash solution for at least 20 to 30 minutes, then I wrung it out and have it turned inside out. I started folding this shirt a different way, so just ignore the lines that are already drawn on. I'm going to begin by folding the shirt in half lengthwise with the bottom folded up to the top. Then I'm going to grab the bottom of the shirt and fold it down one time. I'm going to hold the folds and turn the shirt over and fold the top of the shirt up. What I've done is I've made really large fan folds in the shirt. Holding the folds, I'm going to go ahead and turn the shirt back over. And using a washable marker and a straight edge, I'm going to draw a diagonal line from one edge of the shirt to the opposite corner of the shirt. I'm going to fan fold this diagonal line and hold the folds in place with some kite string. And the folds are going to be kind of large because there are a lot of layers of fabric here. I'm going to straighten the rest of the fan folds, and I'm also going to fan fold the sleeves into the shirt and continue tying with kite string. I set the shirt aside to dry, but because of the weather it's not completely dry, so it is just barely damp. I'm going to snow dye this shirt, so I need to make some sort of a barrier to keep the snow on top of the shirt. To do that, I'm using some silicone cake molds, and down below this video in the description is a link to where I purchased these cake molds. I'm wrapping the molds around the shirt, and then I'm using some wooden clothespins that I'm attaching to the metal rack to hold the silicone cake molds in place. I'm going to go with a little bit of a darker color palette for this shirt. I love the way darker colors split when you ice dye or snow dye with them, so I'm going to use some darker colors on this one. I'm starting on the initial line that I fan folded with forest green from Custom Colors. And on either side of the forest green, I'm going to place Timberwolf from Dharma Trading Company. I'm going to continue adding dye to either side of the line. Now I'm going to add a line of Wasabi from Dharma Trading Company to each side. I'm adding charcoal from Custom Colors to each side. In the 2 remaining sections, I'm going to sprinkle some new black from Dharma Trading Company. Lastly, I'm going to add a little bit more of the forest green over the top of the new black. Then I'm adding an additional sprinkle of soda ash just to make sure I have plenty in the shirt after all the snow melts and runs through the shirt. And now I'm going to load on the snow. The snow that we received this time is a dry powdery snow, so I'm really packing as much of it on top of the shirt as I can get. I came back and added a couple more layers of snow as this first layer melted. Because it was really cold and I didn't really want to rinse the shirt out in a cold sink, I went ahead and allowed the shirt to process for about 72 hours. I took the shirt to the sink and I began rinsing it in cold water to rinse out the soda ash. Then I gradually warmed up the water to hot to rinse out any of the dye that didn't react or bond with the shirt. Once the water was almost clear, I washed the shirt in the washing machine using some hot water and Dharma's textile detergent. After the shirt was washed and dried, this is how it looks. So overall, I really like the way the shirt turned out. I like the darker color palette, and I like all the color splits that come from the darker colors. All the colors that I've used on this shirt, the forest green, timber wolf, wasabi, charcoal, and new black, are all mixed colors. So what we mean when you hear a tie-dyer talking about color splits is all of the different colors that go into making an individual color, like, let's say, forest green. The different dye colors that are put into a forest green powdered dye will split out into their individual colors. That's what we mean by color splits. Like the yellow ochre type color that's on this shirt came from the forest green. That's what's fun about doing ice dye to me, is seeing all the interesting colors that show up that you weren't necessarily expecting. Because the shirt is so dark, the design is a little bit more subtle on this. When I liquid dye this Zig Zag design, it shows up a lot better than it does with this darker color palette. But if you want to see the design or trace the design, you can just follow the forest green line. You can see that on the shirt making the zigzag pattern. I did end up with some white on the shirt, and I think that's because I dyed the shirt when it was still partially damp. It wasn't very damp at all, but I know that I added plenty of dye to the top. And I kept checking the bottom of the shirt to make sure the dye was coming through to the back side. So I know I added plenty of snow to the top to force the dye through. The only thing that makes sense is that that area was probably a little bit too damp and it didn't take the dye as well as the rest of the shirt. So if you guys have enjoyed watching this video, I sure would appreciate it if you would hit the big red subscribe button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.